Very,
I
very
think,
few people. Yeah,
yeah.
I cannot imagine.
But also that's why it's difficult to find a team, a dedicated team also, which I've been struggling with,
Hmm,
because people do it for some time and then they go away. Yeah, it happens.
true.
So I'm hoping that my message reaches some people, and if they are really feel that they have that fire, I hope that they're going to contact me also.
True.
Yeah.
Hmm.
But it's not very difficult actually. So it's just, I think people feel that this is not practical or this won't be working. Like you have to work hard. I guess the problem is if you want everything very easy, this is not the
Hmm.
field you should come into. Yeah.
True, true. I think, yeah, the way you shared it very openly was very good. Yeah,
Yeah. Thank you.
true. So, actually, there is another person who does a similar thing in Indore, where I'm
Okay.
living.
Okay.
His name is Anuj Kothari,
Okay.
and
Okay.
they have a store called as Takali.
Yeah, yeah, I've heard, and I saw his stall at O5 convention. I was there.
Possible,
O5.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I've been trying to, yeah, I could meet him. I saw his father, I think, at the place. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Anuj is in father.
Yeah, I think we are one of few early birds. I think it's going to come in a bigger way, but I think people, when they can't see what the future is going to be and they only can trust things that which are on right now, it's very difficult in
Hmm.
that scenario to take up something like this. And obviously the hard work lies more on people who start something than on catching on once everything is running and everybody is kind of what do we do with, which I'm not even sure, but it should stay as an optional way of clothing. I don't think that we're going to ever have this in a very big way. I don't think at this
Hmm.
point of time, but there's a space for it. And right now it's very exciting because the space is expanding and there's a lot of interest in this area. So yeah.
Hmm. True. So I was just going through the website and I found
Yeah.
the color combinations superb.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
You should
Nice.
contact us. You can actually pick up a fabric from the website and make something for yourself. So we have this website
Oh,
called True Tone Ink, and the
okay.
fabrics are there. You can pick up a fabric and make something for yourself, and yeah, it's available. So my partner has been
Sure.
working for 20 years actually in this field. So for me, it's
Mm-hmm.
just been few years, but for 20 years he's been at it, breaking machines and trying to see and industrializing the whole thing. So he's gone through like his journey is much crazier than mine also, because he tried all kinds of products, from fabrics to spa products to towels to bed sheets to innerwear, everything. He tried to use this application across textiles from one single factory. So
Mm,
that is more amazing, I think. Yeah.
sure. Uh, I think, have started. Okay. So the six
Sure.
o'clock thing
Sure.
has started.
Yeah.
And so so I'll just request everybody to ask their questions in the chat, and I can also summarize and bring few of them together and
Sure.
then share.
Sure. Sure.
And that is the way. And like before we go there, as an
Yeah.
audience, I think, or also as a moderator, we also have little bit biased towards, we
Mm.
want to get 2-3 key questions answered from you,
Sure. Absolutely.
and then we open up to the audience.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Absolutely. All ready for that.
Although you have covered quite a bit, but I just wanted to ask you about, maybe it's also like, who, like, I mean, there might be multiple challenges you faced,
Mm-hmm.
but like maybe sharing few of the challenges and how you overcame them in the beginning of your journey, or maybe wherever you felt like were the biggest challenges, because
Right.
your journey is longer than normal, I could
Sure.
think
Sure.
about.
Sure.
So that is the question. And who supported you while you were uh, you know
Yeah.
facing those challenges?
Sure. So, the biggest challenge for me personally, it may not be for everyone, was that I didn't have a starting capital. I didn't have any money
Hmm.
of my own. And I borrowed some capital from my husband. And I mean, my husband was quite well off in the sense that there was no problem. But I don't think anybody in my family per se uh, found it like a venture where they would like to invest. And if
Hmm.
and my guys were Marwadi and businessmen, and so nobody wants to invest or take risk. So that was a challenge, that there was no excitement from anyone. Everybody was like, okay, whatever. And I was very clear that I don't want to take money. I borrowed money and I returned back. So in the beginning, I did not want to involve anyone, because this was so new, that uh, asking people and doing would be completely suicide, I could say. Because any normal person who's a businessman, if he entered at that point, they would see that how and why you even doing this. It doesn't make economic sense. So I kept everybody out. I pursued this with the help of my theater family. So I used to do theater earlier, 4 or 5 years of theater. And that was my creative group. And whenever I needed some help, not in terms of money, but in terms of support and, coming and, being there with me or whatever, I took help from them. Because with them, I had this vibe that they understood of who I am and why I'm the passion. I think they understood my passion very well. And my mother actually was the biggest support, I would say, because she was the one who actually got this story from Ahmedabad to me. The person I was working with, who's my partner now, was in Ahmedabad, and she got to know about natural light clothing, and I had never heard about this. She was so excited, and then I was so excited, and I started this thing. Because so not keeping anyone, my father-in-law and everybody who knows business so well, and I had not done business till then. It was my first venture, but I kept everyone out of it somehow, and that was a great thing. So uh, starting capital not being there was a challenge, because this product is not very cheap. Like usually in textiles, you have amazing amount of margins in commercial textile, I would say. Like 100 200% is normal margin. You can actually get a very very cheap textile, and you can sell at a very this thing high price. It's a good business to do. But when you talk about organic cotton, and then on top of it natural dyed, it is the economics, are very tough. So I had no scope to invest in any kind of admin staff or advertising, or say any kind of overheads. So I ended up like any startup, I think, doing all kinds of things myself. So social media myself, designing myself, procuring my everything myself. So that was a challenge. I could not afford a staff for first few years at all, but I had so much of energy, so I was able to do it at that time. So I think these were few of my challenges. Yeah. And not having anybody believe, so it's better to keep everyone away. That was the thing. Sure.
Sure. And uh, maybe you also talked about the support system as a theater group. Uh, as you grew, how did your support system grew? How did you get maybe better at business also? What would
Yeah.
that? Uh, how did that happen?
So my background has been very diverse. I have worked in social sector, as in I used to work with the dialysis unit NGO for 6 7 years. Then I did theater. Then I had this. I had studied finance in an organization for some time. It was called Millennium Mams. So I was very good at connecting with people. I basically love people. So I think I had this very interesting relationship over diverse areas. And when I was working in my NGO, so I was the first person to do some event and gather funds at our place. So I was connected to a lot of these people at Round Table, Rotary, and everything, all kinds of events. So I tried my hand at very different things. at theater, arts, and this social sector, this health NGO, and then whatever. So this network was actually my wealth. Like there was a speaker called Sid, I think, when I was listening to him some time back. So I didn't have money, but nobody thought that I didn't have money. Everybody thought that, wow, Biome is so big and Biome is like so connected. And Biome, that's only because I had this real connections and relationships. It was not just having a number of people. I was genuinely interested and connected to people. And people could easily understand of why I'm into this thing. They could, my genuinity really traveled easily. So people respected, though they were not my buyers or clients at the time, but they supported in every other way. So yeah, money was not there, but every other kind of support was there. And my theater group also initially supported, and they also bought a few things and they wore a few things. They were my first clients, my friends. But then yeah, slowly as you're growing, then you have to go out of those things and you need to reach out to more people. So I started collaborating a lot with people. So the thing was, I saw that the people were ready if you touch them in the right place and you show them what this is. And if you can invest in design, and if you can, I mean, you need to keep your profit margin low. If you want to make a lot of money, this is not for you. This is absolutely not the field for you, because uh, I can absolutely say that if you want abnormal profits, this is not the field. You need to have a low expectation of profit margin, because your cost is very high. The input cost, the material is so good, and it's because it is so less in quantity and demand. That's why it's expensive right now. Maybe in some years when this is going to be rampant, or if it grows, and the material will become cheaper. So I could not have a unit of myself. So there was no capital investment. I was outsourcing the tailoring and stuff. So all those costs were also high for me. So I wanted to have a good product, good tailoring, and I was okay to keep my profit margin very low. How did I do that?
Hmm.
First of all, my overheads, as I said, I did creative kind of things. I spoke from my heart. I did not think about hiring someone for social media. I would just get up and feel like talking about something, and it just flew, it flowed from me, and then that worked. Second thing is that this my lifestyle was very different. So I was a very content person in that way, in the sense that I knew that I could not just splurge on a lot of expensive coffee shops or garments or shoes or whatever, and I was okay with it. So personally, I was comfortable. So if your lifestyle is simple, then it's good to take this challenge. And I'm talking all this in context of me not having a big starting capital. If you do have, then obviously you can do it in a much bigger way and a better way, maybe. But yeah, for me, I feel that your lifestyle has to be different. You have to be a little content person, and yeah, you need to think creative, because conventional ways of marketing are very expensive. You cannot have that cost on you when you're working with sustainability. Yeah. Also, I think it fails. I think the conventional marketing is all about hiding information and using
Hmm.
seduction and using people to say lies. But sustainable marketing is all about exposing the truth, saying who you are, exposing what's happening, what are you doing, because you have real content to share. So I think, and the people who are working, they are the celebrities themselves. I feel like the more they can expose themselves and come out, it's good. Who is working, where you getting, because you have nothing to hide. So that marketing is very different from normal commercial marketing. Yeah.
Sure. I think that definitely answers. So uh, another thing, there is question coming in. Now
Hmm.
I'm just taking questions.
Sure.
So, where did you learn natural dyeing from, and how could you guide someone to learn from scratch? And maybe I just want to
Sure.
add one more thing. How
Yeah.
would you also describe other things you learned, and maybe what is your process of learning, if you can maybe describe that?
Yeah. Yeah. I learned natural dyeing. So I was just working with fabrics first, natural dyed fabrics from this partner of mine, who I say that he's in Ahmedabad, and his company is called True Tone Ink right now. And then I also learned the process from him, but I was not dyeing my own fabrics. That is a very different ball game. You need years of experience and practice before you can do that. It's not an easy task, but the process that anybody, if they want to learn today, I am also the co-founder of Color Ashram, as I said. So there is a space to learn natural dyeing. If you are a person who wants to learn hands-on dyeing in an economical, faster, and a viable way, in today's time when you have less energy and less money and less, everything is very expensive. You don't live near a forest that you can burn fuel and you can gather loads of material to make. You are in a city, you will be burning LPG fuel. You cannot be using hours and hours of boiling the material to take out dyes. So we need to be practical in this area. And luckily my partner did come up with something which is cold dyeing, where you don't need fuel at all. So there are a lot of innovations that have happened in natural dyes with very few people. My partner and at Kala Ashram, we are one of them. We can teach you how to dye, how to set up a unit. Solution is there, absolutely, but what remains on your court, the ball is still in your court, because you need to be persistent, you need to practice, you need to have alertness of mind. It is not something which you can work with without your mindfulness. Your instincts need to be very alert. It's like cooking. So cooking, you only learn when you practice. It's something like that. You need to keep tasting, keep seeing how these recipes. So people can still give you a formulation, and yet it is not on you how you will take it, how you will absorb and do it. um, but a lot of work has been done, at least at Color Ashram, I would say. Traditional natural dyeing is, you would take a lifetime to learn, basically. But what we are teaching, it will not take you a lifetime. I think if you give 6 months to a year, you can actually learn how to dye. This thing. There is a cost involved because you have to practice on fabrics and you have to invest in colors. So it's not very cheap. The learning cost is little high, but it is not high compared to going into traditional way of natural dyeing and this thing. So anybody who enters natural dyeing will have to be prepared for a cost to learn that skill and to use that that fabric and its language, because it is a new language. It is not something like commercial textiles. And the second question of yours, so I learned from there, and we teaching at Color Ashram. So anybody who wants to learn can actually come there. This
So,
is really your area of how better you can get at it. The second question you asked was very interesting, actually, which I'd like to answer.
yes, yes.
Uh, yeah,
One second. People are also asking,
what
where
did,
is Color Ashram?
yeah,
No, no. People are also asking, where do these workshops happen?
it's in Ahmedabad. Yeah, it's in Ahmedabad. But for now, we are able to do online workshops with people. So first, training can happen online, and then if you want to actually do production and get into unit or whatever, do further, you should come once to Ahmedabad. Yeah.
And
Okay. Yeah.
and they can know the cost of this workshop and the details through the website. Is there?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's no website right now. There's an
Okay, okay,
Instagram page,
okay.
Kalarashram Foundation. You can write to us. Yeah. If you look up on Facebook and Instagram, Kalarashram Foundation. Okay.
Sure,
We'll be very happy to introduce that. Yeah. And it's the easiest way to do natural dyeing. Okay.
sure.
Next question was, how did I learn? That's really interesting for me, because it was just my persistence to do this. And I was just openly absorbing things from anywhere I would look, I would read, I would hear, I would capture information what I needed. It's like when you want to do something, you find solutions everywhere. You don't have to search also, because randomly, like, it's we are in this time of so much of information. It's out there. Information is always out there. You can just like, you need to have that eye, and your ear should be ready to listen. That's all. So I was absorbing, but my base, I would say, has been in arts. So that has given me a very strong base to capture things and aesthetics very well. And because of my work in diverse areas, I would say, in theater, in social sector, it's given me an understanding of people, of body language, of many other things. So I think arts and theater, all these things are very good base to be ready to read and absorb things. Yeah.
Hmm.
But there's no formula. It's like, if you want to do it, you will find a way to do it.
Sure. So there is one person, she's
Yeah.
messaged me anonymously, so I just don't want to take her name. So she's saying
Sure.
she also runs a similar venture and they are finding it hard to break even.
Yes.
So she also has staff and she can't produce newer stuff. So this looks like a little deeper problem, but if you have
Yeah.
certain suggestions, recommendations for them.
Yes, yes, absolutely. That is true. It's very difficult to break even, and I mean, I was actually doing workshops as well, which was giving me some income besides selling clothes, because these clothes are also not cheap, and yet they don't look like a glamorous wear. You know, that range that they come in after you make it a nice product. So I did, as I said, I did a lot of creative stuff. Like, you know, I did a lot of events. I created a lot of awareness. So you cannot do marketing as such. Like, even taking a stall in an exhibition is so expensive that with your product, which is already very expensive, it's very difficult. But what I would do is that I would take part in a lot of events and collaborate with people to where to talk about. So I think that word of mouth and taking, you know, part in various kinds of events where you're not spending too much of money, but you're presenting yourself, you're talking about it, is a good way to convey to people. But and today is a good market to actually go out and do this, because everybody is right now looking for this, and yet it is very difficult, I would say, to break even and make profit.
Maybe share about the workshop, the kind of workshops you did, and maybe how they can also do something on those lines, or any other
Yeah,
creative work you did.
right. So I mean, I was doing how to learn. I was doing natural dyeing workshops and events at my place, and sustainable fashion shows. So there was this lady circle, you know, who wanted to do a show. So everybody wants to be green now. Okay, so people out there, and I said that I'll do a fashion show with you, but you need to buy all the dresses which I make. So they agreed to that. So giving some service along with the product and giving your experience and information is something you can leverage, because one thing is that people know nothing in this area. Even the people who work with brands and other things, they don't know the nuances of natural dye or organic cotton. Everybody is like, somehow, yeah, the real information is not out there. There is a lot of space for you know, sharing and educating people about it. So I was doing these collaborative workshops where people could learn how to design and do sustainable fashion, natural dyeing, all those things. And this person, anonymous person who you said cannot break even, I don't know what kind of method they're using, because traditional natural dye is very expensive and difficult to continue. So if she can contact me at Color Ashram, our process is much simpler and economically more viable actually than the traditional process. So it's meant to, because my partner, who Arun Bed, who's not interested to make this as an expensive product out there, niche product. His whole mindset was, how can we make it industrial and mass product? So he has worked a lot on how we can, you know, reduce the cost of dyeing and reduce the cost of fabrics. So, I mean, today we are selling fabrics from our website at 200 rupees, 250 rupees a meter. That is
Wow.
actually not a lot, but there's a myth, and that organic cotton would be very expensive. So I think if you want to look at our prices and how we're doing it, you can contact us and we may be able to help you. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that definitely is pretty good. Like
Yeah.
some people are asking if they can directly ask you questions. Go ahead.
Sure. Yes, absolutely. I'd love to hear the energy and the voice of people. Yeah.
Yes.
Hi, can I ask you a
And
question?
yes.
Hi, my name is Radhika.
Okay.
I'm 14 years old.
Is Radhika audible? It's she's not audible
It's a
to me.
little, yeah, yeah, it's a little soft. Can you speak a little louder?
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Louder.
Not,
Louder is better.
All right. Hello.
yeah.
Hello. All
Yeah,
right.
I can hear you now.
So, hi. All right. Hi, my name is Radhika and I'm 14 years old.
Okay.
So, I have a keen interest and passion in stitching, and I also teach children stitching who are younger than me in village. So,
Sure.
mostly girls. So, I started with 10, 15 girls right now. And
Okay.
so I have a vision of basically starting a social enterprise ahead and maybe adding a skill to those girls who are basically not also going to schools and not doing anything at home. Basically
Okay.
developing a skill in them of stitching and further maybe making this into a social enterprise so that
Right.
maybe I can involve them and then
Yeah.
we all can, start stitching or maybe sell some clothes, but I wanted the entire initiative to be completely organic and eco-friendly.
Sure.
So
Sure.
could you guide me along while sourcing fabric? Because yeah, as you said that maybe there's a myth
Right.
that organic
Yes.
fabric is pretty costly.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah,
if you
right.
could just clear up with that.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. You said you're 14 years old.
Yes.
Wow, that's commendable. And you sound more intelligent than any of the adults I've spoken to. So yes,
Thanks a lot.
it's possible to do that. So with dyeing also, we can actually help you with the sourcing. So as I said, my partner deals with organic cotton. So we can tell you various ranges of cotton for your initiative. It will come at a much lower cost than you could imagine, and you can also learn natural dyeing. It's very simple. Once you learn it, you can easily train your people, because at the village anyway their focus and is better with hands-on work, and I think they will do a good job out of this. And these so I think you can also do your dyeing yourself there slowly and do it. So you can contact me at my email id. It's colorashramfoundation@gmail.com.
Okay, perfect.
COLOR,
Thank you
okay,
so
not
much.
LO, COLOR, ashram foundation @gmail.com. Yeah.
Okay,
So we can take it when you call me, and yeah, we can get in touch with you. Okay.
great. Sure. I
Right.
would love to get in touch
Lovely.
and maybe
Lovely work, but it's completely possible to do. And I'm sure the younger you are, you have more energy to go ahead with it. Yeah.
thank you so much. That was
Yeah.
wonderful talking to you.
Sure. And you're Radhika. Okay. Yeah.
Yes, Radhika.
All right. Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I would definitely get in touch with you as soon.
Sure. Definitely.
Others can go ahead. Ask questions.
Can I ask my question next?
Yes. Yes, please.
Right. Hi.
Mm.
I'm from Uttarakhand, and I was just wondering, can like we have a lot of hemp and nettle and bamboo over here. So can those also be dyed in the same way that you teach? Would those also catch some
Yes,
that?
yes. You when you say hemp nettle, you mean fabrics of hemp
Yes.
nettle and all that.
Yes.
Excellent. Yeah, absolutely. All natural fibers absorb natural dye very well.
Okay.
Hemp is an excellent fiber. Yeah, you only need to learn the process and practice it. There are stages of training. We have one stage which is a 4 to 5 day online class for a beginner. Once you practice, then we can take you on to the level where you can get into a little bit of production, hand production if you want. It can also go up and scale up to machine production. It need not be a very big setup. A small machine can actually do wonders in
Okay.
dyeing.
Okay.
And my partner, as I said, he is been absolutely researching, and he's worked on this of how to do small scale investment, but do a, more production with natural dyeing. Yeah. So
Right.
it's absolutely possible.
Right. So tentatively, what is the kind of investment that one would make into, getting the machine
A
and,
unit.
colors?
I think for a startup setup, like 3 to 5 lakh rupees is enough. Yeah, but
Okay.
we can go into more on how many meters you're looking at. So it also depends on how many meters of production you're looking at.
Right.
Because the larger the production, then maybe you need a this thing cost. But initial setup is not very expensive. You basically need space and big containers and dyes.
Right.
That's all. You can also start with that, which is very, very reasonable. Yeah,
Right.
it's not big.
And also, there's a picture in the head that, if it's a natural color, it fades away faster.
Yeah.
And is that true then? Like,
It is true. Natural dyes will always fade. There is no natural dyes which don't fade. But our dyes have gone through a lot of research, and since it's been done industrially, the standard of our dyes and their absorption, everything is much better than, say, just other dyes, I would say. And there is a wash care. If you can educate your customer for wash care, they'll be able to. And the fading is very beautiful in the sense that, like, I'm wearing this kurta. This might have gone, I've worn this more than 20 times. It may have gone a shade lighter, but I won't recognize till I remember what my first color was. So it's beautiful and it's lighter towards that.
right.
And I want to just go back on the investment point. So the investment is more of two things. One is your time to practice and do this. Second, and in that practice time, you would use a lot of fabric to, dye, make mistakes, again dye that time. Second thing is on the this thing on the, what do you call,
Invest.
is is more on the, yeah, the infrastructure is not very expensive. Infrastructure is very simple. The
Okay.
training cost, yeah, I was about to say training, because in this, experience is everything. It's not something which is ready made and you can learn it in a short time. So maybe that training time with, say, us or with whoever's training you, that and the practice time, time and energy and money, that is more expensive than the infrastructure cost, I would say. Infrastructure can be very simple.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Great. Thank you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah, most welcome.
Other questions people have, please go ahead.
Can
Um,
I? Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, hi.
Namrata, have you
Yes.
mentioned the cost of the, the workshop or something? You were
Yeah.
talking about the entire course, right? I might have missed
Right, right.
that.
Yeah. So we give you it's a 4 to 5 day course,
Mm.
and we give you all the material. We send it to your place, and those dyes you can use them to dye around 10 to 20 meters of practice you can do after we send you the material. And it's I mean, there is a 2 hour session every day for doing that. So that whole, with the material and the resource and everything, it costs around, it comes to 3,500 per day. So you can calculate it's how much is into 4 or 5 days. Yeah, that's the cost. And if you're doing it in with a group of people, then we can give a little discount as well. Yeah, this is for one-to-one session, I'm saying. Yeah, we send you everything, literally, like the fabric, colors, everything. Yeah.
Okay. So, any new questions?
By the way,
I have more
even if you
questions.
do not want to, sorry, I just want to say that even if you do not want to become a designer or a brand or a production team, just you want to upcycle your own garments, in the sense that you have clothes which are white and light, and you want to dye it at home to wear it yourself. That is also possible. We have a short workshop for you to dye your own clothes at home, and your friends and relatives also. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Another question is that
Yeah.
usually, naturally dyed fabrics are more expensive, and the look is very different, and it's a niche, for
Right.
people who only
Right.
understand the product. So how does one like, crack that market? Because at the end of the day, if you're thinking of pursuing this, then, the economics is
Sure.
equally important.
Sure, sure. So design plays a very important role here. Don't make any normal design or cuts which work in the market, because you won't be able to compete with the cost and the finish and the colors that commercial textile would have. So you go for something very different design wise, and you don't make too much of a big selection, because also creating stock in natural dyed clothing and keeping is not a good idea. There are a lot of problems with fading while it's lying around, and change of atmosphere, moisture, all these things can affect. So you cannot, I mean, I would advise, if you're doing pure natural dyeing, you should not create a very big stock. Should work with a small stock, small design, but cutting edge designs would be something which is interesting. And doing too much of different combinations may not also be a good idea, because dark colors like blacks and blues may actually bleed once or twice. So if you combine light white with that color, it may not be a good idea. So there's a lot to learn actually in this. It's a different language. Like if you designed clothes with commercial, I mean, chemical, toxic chemical dyed fabrics, and you thought that I'll just replicate this on that, that's not going to happen.
So
So this field needs education. Do not go into it without educating yourself.
right.
What I would
So
say. Yeah.
a safer bet would be to start off with a smaller product, like maybe
Yeah.
accessories, because you don't really
Yes.
need to.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Like scarves or stoles and all those things, and maybe small products is a good idea. Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay,
That's a good thing.
great. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I have one question.
Yeah. Sure.
So this also maybe some people might, it's a harder question, but I want to talk about a little bit about the money and the survival piece. Like,
Yeah.
how did you manage your own sustenance needs, and how did it improve, or what happened?
My people skills were very good. So I think there was one thing, my confidence level and people skill was extremely good in presenting my thing. So because your product is natural dyed, which means the subtle colors and it doesn't shout out and talk to people. So your product will be, I mean, you either do really good aesthetic social media, because I think Instagram really works very well. You can be seen more than Facebook. Instagram is a place to market yourself in these areas. And if you have a good aesthetic to present and photograph, and do like a different kind of a what do you call this, presenting your product, that can also work very well. Then also um, I would say that I'm thinking. Yeah, I mean, I have actually used people as my currency, I would say, to share and across platforms, network, and you know, reach out. Reaching out, actually, the biggest cost is reaching out in this market, and uh, for that, if like word of mouth and doing different kinds of collaboration really works. Like there are so many people nowadays, they would actually send a product to a person and ask them, like to a person who is kind of a celebrity, not like stars I'm saying, but say in they're influencers on Instagram, and you ask them to wear or talk about your product and everything. Those kind of things help. But more than that, even in your account, in your Instagram account, if you're creating awareness about natural dyes, or say what is your process, who's working, like really connecting the maker of your fabric and the place where you're working to the people, to the audience, that works. So
Hmm.
exposing yourself, and how are you, why are you doing what you're doing. So speak from the, I think speaking from the heart really makes a lot of difference. If you're a shy person, If you're an introvert and you feel that you don't have that skill, then you can use aesthetics of, say, storytelling, like use photographs, videos, where you're sharing about these things. And I think there are a lot of venues, because now like the corporate is looking for something green, government is looking, like everybody has been asked to look for green things. So find out some opportunities where you can say, okay, I'll do a green product line for gifting for you, or I will, for a movie, you can say that I'll do a costume for you. I don't know, like various kinds of things. I've actually reached out everywhere and anywhere and everywhere to see that one line of marketing which happens with normally commercial products, that will not work, is what I feel, unless you have
Hmm.
capital to sustain yourself. So I think you need to have a capital to sustain for some time. You will be recognized, but it takes time. So till that time happens, when people see your brand and they're visible and they're buying, it is a little time where you will be only working and not getting back for long. But then it pays off if you can stay. Yeah.
Sure.
And maybe having different partners, like, some partner to reach out and do your marketing, because there is a lot of work in creating a product in this area. It's not very simple. And there are a lot of issues about, say, sometimes defects in dyeing, and maybe customer problems, all kinds of things. If you are not a problem solver, then it is difficult to work with this. Yeah. The satisfaction is huge, and once you establish yourself, the market gives you that credibility also. But the initial hard work, there's no escape from that, I would say that. Yeah, because you're also learning as you start doing, and you make a lot of mistakes. So
Hmm.
yeah.
True. Yeah. Any questions from the audience? Please go ahead.
Also, before you get into it, you should actually make some natural dyed clothes for yourself and wear it and experience what do you feel. The joy of wearing it and the comfort, only once you wear it will you know it, and then you can actually speak about it and work with it also. So don't be scared. As I said, that it's possible. You can just learn a simple upcycling course and dye things yourself. You have to let yourself into the magic of natural dyes, and then I think you can take it from there. If you keep thinking about, there are a lot of difficulties, how do I enter it, and so many, it'll never happen. You just need to put your hands in the dye and understand the magic, and let it speak to you.
Hmm. I think that's a
I'm
beautiful
I'm
message.
not being poetic. I'm just being. I'm saying that truly it works that way. Yeah.
I have but few more questions.
Sure.
My
Sure.
friends, they have started experimenting with indigo here in
Right.
Dehradun, where I
Right.
am.
Right.
So
Yeah.
they are from NID and all. So they were like experimenting indigo, and they said you can drink it also, and
Mhm.
like grow your indigo as well. So are there any allergy tests or anything that you need to go through for, the fabric as well?
No, this is hypoallergenic. This is the least allergic fabric that you can get, unless you're using synthetic fixers. So a lot of natural dyes people, they use chemical fixers for this. So there are two components in natural dye. One is a dye, one is a fixer. So even if the dye source is natural, lot of people are using chemical fixers. So in that, I don't know how it will still be a toxic product. But otherwise, this is allergy wise, unless person has certain allergy to a particular herb or something, this is a least problem fabric for skin. Like it's the best skin friendly fabric. And with indigo, I mean, I don't know what they're using, but you need an alkali to activate indigo. It doesn't work without that. So alkali part is a part which can be a little like if you're using lime, it can itch your skin if you're making the dye. But after the product is made, there's no problem. Natural dyed fabrics can be actually healing because they're all coming from Ayurvedic herbs. So you could be wearing a Hartaki dyed dress and an indigo dress. They are all excellent for skin. There's no problem. Even if they rub on your skin, if they bleed a little bit, it's natural dye bleeding. It's not chemical dye bleeding, which can be actually toxic and dangerous.
Yes.
So
And
yeah.
Wow.
also, would you be able to guide on the fact that, whatever's grown locally over here, because the terrain is
Yeah.
very different, we are closer to the Himalayas here. So, would you be able to guide us also on what local ingredients we can incorporate for dyeing?
Yes, of course. That's a little bigger journey to first understand and walk slowly. But we have a research lab at Color Ashram. So if there's any ingredient that we have not explored to take out color, but it would have color potential, we are more than happy to test it, take out and figure out and a formula for you and give it to you that, okay, this is what you can do. So you can send us the raw material, we can give the dye powder and return to you because there's a lot of series of tests and lab work to standardize a shade, or we can teach you to maybe eco print with it. Like there are a lot of options available. Yeah.
Right, right.
Hmm.
And also, how many people do you need to employ for a startup? Like, tentatively, what should one, like, is it
One
should,
dyer,
oh,
one dyer is what you need. A good dyer. I mean, a person who knows how to dye or wash properly, like, or you can train that person. So one dyer and one person who's managing like your like you yourself probably, who is managing the sourcing and everything and marketing of it. But and yeah, so with one dyer, one admin staff, and you, three people are enough to begin.
right.
There's no, and
And
if you're into stitching, then of course you need a tailor also. Yeah.
right, right. And also, you would teach eco printing also with this, with the whole course online?
So eco printing is a different course. It falls under block printing and eco printing. The
Okay,
first course is just introduction to natural and herbal dyeing. So in this, dyeing is there. So there are various courses. Once you send us an email, we can share the different modules with you.
sure.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
And
Hmm.
another thing I wanted to say was about this thing. Yeah, as I said, never think about mass production with natural dyed fabrics. Like think about small scale production and like unless you're an industry. I mean, otherwise, big trying to make a lot of stock in this, and when you are a designer, it's not a good idea. It's
Okay.
always good to work in a smaller stock and a small collection and then make more on order because yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
Have to actually see the market, because that is
Yeah.
the main thing, like how to plug into it to, uh,
There are loads of brands actually. If you look into natural light brands or sustainable brands, they do very few range of products. They don't do a lot of variety like other commercial brands. They will not have. They'll have few products only, and people are okay with it actually. So this whole thing, I know people force and they push you that where's the variety, because clients also used to seeing variety all the time. You can tell them that you need to, because if you try to up your thing with commercial, like the level of variety which is there in a normal textile brand, you will not be able to maintain it. Like it's not going to be viable. So it's always, you need to put yourself forward that this is a different language, this is natural dye, it's not your normal textile. You need to keep reminding the client about that. uh, I, I find that there's no point in competing with something which is not even on your level actually. So
yeah.
they are using, like say, if you follow our process, we do not use any synthetic or toxic chemical.
Mhm.
So there is a
Hmm.
product which you're wearing right now, is it uses 8,000 chemicals in its lifetime without any hesitation. I can tell you, my
Acha.
product which I'm wearing is a zero chemical product. So
Right.
8,000 and zero, there is a huge difference, right? So you need to tell people that, this is not the normal product. So they can't expect the same things and the same results.
I think it also
Yeah.
makes a
Hmm.
difference in the vibrations on your personality as well, right?
Oh, a lot, a lot. We actually did an aura test with the camera that is
Right.
done, and the aura of all our clothes fabrics was white. It was
Wow.
pure. Yeah, but white in chemical dyes means a lot of bleach. It's very toxic. White is a very toxic color when you think in terms of chemical dyes. But
Yeah.
white
Hmm.
was supposed to mean pure, but white has become this very toxic color that we use. It's because it's bleach, and bleach is extremely toxic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great, great. Thank you.
Uh,
Yeah.
Answer so many questions.
I mean, that's okay. I'll invite other people also to definitely ask questions. One question from maybe everybody's point of view is like, how can people collaborate, intern, volunteer with you?
Yeah. So we have, you can write to us that you would like to intern and collaborate. The only thing is that we are little, I mean, you need to be a hands-on person to learn. Only sitting in the computer is not going to teach you. Like, this is not for graphic designers. We are open for people who are ready to use their hands and yeah, and learn. So if you're a hands-on person, you can definitely write to us. We are looking for interns right now as I speak. And we've actually we've tried to work with some textile students, and it's turned out to be really bad experience. So because they can do everything on the computer, but when it comes to hands-on, they are very yeah, it's not been a great experience. So I think even non-textile people are good as long as you have a passion and you want to do it. You're not shying away from hard work and hands-on work. You're open to approach us. Yeah.
Hmm.
Prerequisites for internship. Yeah, we have a list actually. So when you write to us that you want to appear for internship, we'll send you an email where we ask you some questions. We take an interview on phone, and yeah, we can do that.
Anjum has some questions she can ask. Anjum, go ahead.
I'm sorry, actually, I kind of missed a part of the session, so maybe some things have already been answered. Uh,
Sure.
where are you based? I'm sorry if you missed.
In Ahmedabad. In
Oh,
Ahmedabad.
oh, I'm in
Yeah.
Vadodara.
Okay.
Wonderful.
Nice.
I'm an
Yeah.
artist myself, so this is very
Okay. Great.
exciting.
Great.
Yeah, I just wanted to know how many courses and what's the kind of duration you have for your courses?
There are many courses. So we have normal, just herbal dyeing course. Then we have block printing and eco printing. We have a painting workshop, which is for artists to use on paper and wall murals. Then we have sustainable startup for brands. If a brand, like, they don't want to learn dyeing, they just want to start a brand, we have a course for sustainable fashion. So there are many kinds of courses. So in natural dye for fabric, textiles, and paper, canvas. All of these we cover with application with of natural dyes. So online courses are usually 3 to 4 days, and we prefer to give you a basic introduction to natural dye, even though you might be doing painting or printing. We give you a basic like ABC dyes, which you have you before you enter into the particular application that you're interested in.
8 weeks, is it?
You
Sorry,
could also
I
do an
think my net is a
online
bit slow.
course
So
first, and then if you want, you can.
I'm,
It's breaking.
Okay,
yeah, it's
you can
breaking.
look up Instagram on
Okay.
Instagram Color Ashram Foundation.
All right.
Okay,
Okay.
Shubham, can you write this on the
Yes,
chat?
yes, yes.
Instagram Color Ashram Foundation, so that people can look it up, and you can inbox us, and we'll reply to you. Yeah,
Okay, great. So
yeah.
basically, the life of the color, I mean, maintaining is the
Okay.
most difficult part. You know,
Where are you talking about? On paper or fabric? What are
no
you
fabric. I
interested
mean, fabric
on fabric?
dyes tend to,
Yeah.
fade and
Right, right.
bleach.
No,
So,
ours is a very advanced product, more than any other natural dyes, because it's industrial and standardized colors. And you have to learn to apply well. There are a lot of nuances of application actually, of how to, if you apply properly, it will stay longer. And if you take the wash care,
because
both
even
the
with
things are
Fab
very
India
important.
products, they, they,
Fab India is chemical dye. It's not natural dye at all.
oh my God.
At all. No, no, no. So so you need to, there's a very prominent greenwashing. We feel like the brands don't even tell us that they are naturalized, but we assume colors that they show is vegetable dye, close to vegetable dye, handicraft or whatever. So they are all using chemical fixers. Fab India is not, Anoki is not. They don't do natural dyeing at all.
Okay, and then what about Sanganer, the kind of dyeing which is happening, the block prints and stuff like that?
they are more of them are using vegetable dyes for color, but all their fixers are chemical, and it's a very
Okay.
dirty process actually, which is not monitored at all. So
Uh-huh.
if you are taking a color from a plant, but using a very strong chemical fixer like chromium and many other kinds of fixers, it's poisonous. It's like mixing something pure with something toxic, and then
Oh.
so the word natural is not enough. You need to ask them that what kind of fixers have you used? Is it a chemical free? Is it a non-toxic product? Then probably you'll get more answers.
Hmm.
Yeah.
So are there more people into
So
this
natural
besides?
dye has got nothing to do with completely non-toxic. Huh?
Uh-huh. Like Upasana and places like that, are they practicing natural diets?
Uh,
I think some of their products, not all, but
Okay.
you need to ask them that which one is that. So the thing is that when some people make some collection natural dye and others are not, you assume that the whole collection is natural dye.
Um,
But these are the questions. So as for a consumer, if they really want to buy, you should ask them outright: is it natural dyed? What kind of fixers do you use? Those kind of things if you want to know. Yeah.
but right now, because of
hmm.
COVID, you're not having a hands-on. Uh,
No, we are. Our
okay.
factory and our studio is open. I work 5 days a week there, and we just opened a cafe where people. I mean, it's a dying cafe, not a. You can have
Which
coffee,
part of
but the
Ahmedabad are
cafe
you
is
in?
meant for people to come. Narol,
Okay.
Narol. It's Lamha, post Lamha. Yeah. So we are open. We are open because our factory is quite spread out. Actually, there aren't too many. Like it's a spread out factory. We have a lot of green space, open space. So we are offering online courses. Yeah, I mean offline
Ah,
courses as well. You can come and
okay.
do it there. Yeah.
Wow. And then can one stay there? Like, do you offer residence
No,
stays?
we don't
No.
have a
Okay.
residence there, but we can suggest some Airbnb to you. Yeah, yeah. We
Oh,
don't
great.
have staying there. Yeah, but you can work from say 11 to 4 and practice because the thing is there's a lot of things needed like the color, the block table, and the block. So many things are needed when you're doing natural dyeing. So if you do not want to arrange all that at your place, it's good to come here, practice, do your thing, learn, and then we give you time to do your own practice, for some days. And then
Uh,
you can go back and create that infrastructure if you want to continue.
so if I come for a
Hmm.
hands-on, how much time should I plan for?
You want to
A
learn
natural
dyeing?
dyeing? Yeah.
Dyeing, yeah, 5 days. 5 days.
Oh,
Yeah.
wonderful.
Or actually, if you want to do depends on what kind of, but I would say 5 days because even if I teach you everything in one day, you will not remember anything. This is new
Um,
information. It needs to be practiced and go on slowly. So I
hmm,
would definitely recommend 5 days at least.
okay.
Hmm.
As you do, you'll have more questions. Just seeing or learning in one session, you will be very, very lost. Yeah.
Great. Thank you.
And you can bring your old clothes. You can re-dye them. You can bring your own fabrics and you can dye them. Like besides what we give you, you
Yeah.
can actually
And
try.
block
If you
printing would
are,
be another.
One last question because we have
yes,
you
Right
can
to you.
connect
Okay.
to
Yeah.
Namrata,
Yeah.
yeah,
sure.
Right.
over.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Yes.
on
Yes.
Kalasham.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
Can
absolutely.
I go?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. One last
So,
question.
yeah, are you all into production of the fabric as well?
Yes, yes. Where
Okay.
we are working out of, it's a factory there, and like thousands of meters can be dyed and printed there actually also. So yeah,
So, is that
we are linked to
organic as
production.
well? Is that
Yes, yes, yes. Only organic cotton. We actually work only with organic cotton.
okay?
Yeah,
Thank you. Because you're with organic farmers, cotton farmers in Andhra.
yeah,
So
right.
I didn't get to the fabric.
Yeah,
So thank you.
sure,
Thanks. Yeah.
sure. Yeah,
Awesome.
okay, yeah, okay,
So, yeah,
yeah,
yeah, we covered quite a bit from what are the problems, the challenges, how she dealt with it, and then what are the tricks, what are the courses, the duration. And I think,
yeah.
yeah, of course, there is a lot more to learn. And at this point in time, I just want to thank you, Nandita, very much.
You're welcome. You're
And
welcome.
yeah, I hope it was a good session for everybody.
Yeah,
And please keep in touch. And
Yeah, I'm
I,
excited to take on people if they want to learn. I'm just writing my email ID on the chat and
yes,
sending
yes.
it. Okay, I just need to do it, everyone, and yeah, so that people can write and they can look up Biome Conscious Fashion on Instagram as well as Kalashram. Thank you so much for having me. It was lovely to have questions. Yeah, and have a filtered group actually. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Namrata.
Thank you. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye
Bye.
bye.
Thank you.
We people can go to the main room. There is a harvest today at 7. Yes. Thank you.